Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is season 7, episode 21. Count all of them. 296 episodes, only 4 away from 300. I'm Craig.
And I am Britt.
And Britt, we're back again for the stupidness that is the NFL.
Oh my God. Is it my imagination, or has this year been a total slog?
This year has sucked.
I don't take.
Terribly.
I want to be honest with the folks who listen to us, and thank you for doing so. There has been minimal joy this year. I'm up. This first half of the season, I couldn't lose on Sportsbook and couldn't win a single DFS pool. The second half of the season, my DFS is cashing like crazy, and I can't hit a prop bet if the prop bet is horsies are pretty, yes or no. So I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I hit a plus 3,000 earlier this year when Daniel Jones led the Giants back.
That's right. Yep.
You know, that was a huge bet. It was a bonus bet, so I only got I paid like $300. It was not fantastic. It was plus 6,000 actually. Now I think about it, but yeah, it was free money. It was free money. But I'm just like, there has not been a lot of joy in football this year, and I don't know why that is.
Part of it is the massive amounts of quarterback injuries. I think over almost half the teams in the NFL have lost their starting quarterback. At least 12 of them. I think it was like 12 or 13 teams started backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that's something we're gonna do that live. I have a funny activity I want to do live just to show how weird. And Craig knows nothing about this. Craig is going, oh Jesus. Here we go. Oh, God.
I just found out now.
Blow the whistle. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's start where we always start. Craig, what are you drinking?
So today, I have a ginger lime mule seltzer.
Ooh.
There's nothing in it, though. But it's very good.
But it's alcoholic.
It's not. I'm very limited on the alcohol I have in my house right now. I haven't bought any recently, so...
Why is that? Are you just trying to be good, or you haven't made it to the alcohol store, or what?
Mix of store and it's holiday time, so money has to go elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Blah, so
absolutely.
Yeah.
I am drinking a Road to Ruin from Two Roads Brewing because my Christmas vacation starts today. I am officially off.
Oh, did you work today?
I did. I worked remotely today. And there's 3 or 4 very minor things that could happen between now and the end of the year. So, I mean, you may remember, I think it was 2019. I came over your house to do the podcast recording, I think 3 days after Christmas. And I said to you, hold on, I got to call a lawyer first. And I went in the other room and I made a work call. It's one of those kinds of things, you never know in my profession what could happen. So, I could get a call tomorrow that's something terrible has happened at work and I've got to stop what I'm doing and go in, but it's unlikely. But so anyway, my techno holiday has begun today. We are going to forego burning hot takes this week. And the reason we are is because there is one blazing thing that we need to talk about. And it is Rashard Mendenhall. For those who have not heard about this yet, I don't even have the tweet in front of me. Let me get this up.
I don't either.
Here's the JJ Wass. Okay. Rashard Mendenhall said, quote, I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. Y'all not even good at football. Can we please replace the Pro Bowl with an all-black versus all-white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me who's good at football? I'm better than your GOAT. End quote.
I have a question.
Yeah, let's go right into that. Go right ahead. This is an open discussion.
Now, I'm assuming that this is just because of the history of the term GOAT in football.
Right.
I relate that to Brady, my opinions about Brady aside.
And
that's usually what people mean.
And he says, you're GOAT. So if he's talking about a racial team, black versus white, and just based on what he's told us, seeing that he says he's sick of average white guys, I'm presuming, again, just based on this context, I'm not going to make any judgment here. I don't know what his background is. He's putting himself on the black team, and he's saying, I'm better than your GOAT, which would be the guy from the white team, which instantly thinks to me, Brady.
So he's saying that he's a better quarterback than Tom Brady.
I'm better than your GOAT.
That's what I get out of that.
So I took it a step further. So he's saying he's a better player than the best white player ever. Okay. I first off, no, you're not, because I don't even. And this is
you want me to pull? I pulled up his stats.
I have it as well.
Not that impressive.
No, they're not.
For a professional running back.
And we're gonna get to that in a second. I think what really bothers. Okay, so let's assume he's talking about Brady. No, he's not. Now, assume like me. I'm not a big fan. I've never been a big fan of Brady. Brady has 7 rings. You cannot dispute that.
Correct.
But I have also been on record in saying he is a product of a great system that works for him, good coaching, having the right people around him.
The steering wheel, Cinch. Let go of the steering wheel.
Yeah, I'm not saying Brady is not great. I'm just saying when we're talking GOAT, I always hate that term, because you go in a time machine 20 years ago and say, who's the greatest quarterback of all time? And almost everybody's going to say Joe Montana, and that's never going to change. Joe Montana's the greatest quarterback of all time. Okay? Go back 10 years. Well, Dan Elway's won 2 Super Bowls lately. He's got to be the best. Okay. It's a constantly evolving thing for me. So I'm going to take it outside the context of quarterbacks. Okay? So who is the best white running back in football right now?
Like this.
As we're sitting and breathing here right now in 2023, if we had to pick a white guy to be our running back, I would pick Christian McCaffrey hands down.
Yeah. I was gonna go to dramatic long pause, but yes, that would be him.
It'd be Christian McCaffrey. Is Rashard Mendenhall in his prime better than Christian McCaffrey right now? And the answer is resoundingly no.
No.
So you're not better than the white GOAT. You're not better than the white guy, the best white guy at the position you played. And frankly, I'm offended by his comment, because you know what I am? I'm an average white guy. Yeah? I'm not, quote, y'all not good at football. You're right. I'm not good at football. I'm good at fantasy football. That's why I have a podcast and you had a career. I'm not trying to, but that doesn't mean I don't get to have my opinion, which, if you haven't seen it, go on Twitter. RG3 put up a hysterical 1-minute response in which he says, yeah, I think that more African-American players are more talented than some of the white players there, in not so many words. But he also calls Rashard Mendenhall a dumbass. And that you can't say these things out loud, and says, it's not a good idea. And then points out, oh yeah, I forgot about all those times that you made the Super Bowl being the best player. Oh, that's right. That never happened.
Yeah, no, he rushed over 1,000 yards twice. Out of 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Wait, does he have a Super Bowl appearance?
He was on Pittsburgh from 2008 to 2012, and then he was in Arizona for 1 year in 2013.
Why do I feel like they won a Super Bowl in that stretch?
I don't know. I have to look.
I'm looking it up now. We'll do it live.
2010, Pittsburgh was in the playoffs. Do I know if they won or not? I don't know.
NFL championships. They've played in 8 Super Bowls. No, I don't want the ones from the 70s. Was he there in 2009?
Regular season, yes.
All right, he did play in that Super Bowl then, yeah, because he played in the Super Bowl against the Cardinals February 1st, 2009. They beat the Cardinals 27-23. That was their last appearance. So, yeah, he did play in a Super Bowl.
Okay.
In 2006. Was he there in 2006?
No, he was a rookie in 2008.
Okay, so, yeah, in his second year. And what kind of a year did he have in 2009, Craig? Tell me some numbers.
Let's see. 2009, he was in 16 games, but he only started 12 of them.
Okay.
He had 242 attempts, and he had 1,108 yards.
That's decent.
7 touchdowns.
Decent. Not amazing, but decent.
No? Yeah.
Rashard Mendenhall, dude, listen. People have and this was RG3's ultimate point. People have the right to have opinions. Just like you have the right to think it's a good idea to have what RG3 called the segregation bowl. But that doesn't mean you voice those opinions out to the universe. And you didn't do anything to further anyone's cause here other than to make yourself look like a dumbass.
Like what?
What was this end game here?
That was going to be my question. What triggered this? Did someone just go to him on X and say, "Hey, you sucked as a running back"? Is that what did it?
I have no clue. I have not seen a single thing that explains why out of nowhere, after 10 years of retirement, Rashard Mendenhall emerges from the underground and sends out a tweet like this.
And then, just so you have a total, he had a total of 4,236 yards and averaged 3.9 yards a carry.
He didn't even average 4 yards a carry. Didn't even average 4 yards a carry.
To me, and like you go by a fantasy perspective, that is very pedestrian. But
you know who that is?
I don't even know what triggered this.
That's Matt Forte. That's Matt Forte numbers. And Matt Forte ain't emerging from the ground saying the guys from the 70s would beat the guys from the 80s every single time. Let's get a 1970s all-pro team together. I'm gonna use a term that the kids were using several years ago. It's gonna make me sound like a boomer right now. That's clown shoes. This whole thing is clown shoes. It really
is, isn't it?
It is so stupid. And you know what? Listen, I'm going to title this episode "Average White Guys Talk Football," because I don't understand what did he think this is not stimulating conversation about racial issues in the league. And let's be frank, they exist. No one is sitting here and saying there isn't racial issues in the league. We've been seeing that. Has anybody ever heard of fucking Colin Kaepernick? I mean, seriously, guys, if you could sit there and turn a blind eye before Kaepernick, but now, I mean, you've got to acknowledge there are significant issues and they've always been there, but this isn't helping it. This isn't generating discussion.
No. And just for comparatively, because I was trying to find a semi-recent memory, like white running back.
Right.
That's not Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Remember Peyton Hillis?
Yeah, he's better than Peyton Hillis. Peyton Hillis was the chief.
His yards per carry was 4.1.
Yeah, but he was a fullback. He also like touchdowns per carry is through the roof
he was also on the cover of Madden.
He was, and then the Chiefs signed him and he died.
Yes.
R.I.P. Peyton Hillis. But yeah, it disappoints me that here we are at the end of 2023 and I'm devoting 10 minutes to Rashard Mendenhall's what feels like a really racist rant. And I'm not going to call him a racist. Other people have come out and said, I don't know if he's a racist or not. Excuse me. I'm just going to say point blank, this was a bad idea on his part. Bad idea. It did nothing to further the conversation. It helps no one. It makes him look bad. Just the end.
Yeah.
Which leads me to what I wanted to do tonight as kind of a fun thing.
Okay.
We opened this by saying this year has been weird, right?
Yes.
We started this by saying, hold on, I'm trying to get the NFL scoreboard up. Nothing this year has gone as expected. Go all the way back to week 1 when the Lions beat the Chiefs 21-20. So I decided to try and see if I'm wrong about this, that this year has been so bizarre that this may or may not work. So we're going to do it live.
Okay.
What is it we're going to do live? We're going to apply WWE logic to the champion of the NFL.
All right.
In short, to be the man, you have to beat the man. So in theory, the Chiefs walked into the season as the world champion, right? They get punched in the face by the Lions. So the Lions are now the world champion. Fast forward to week 2. The Lions lose to the Seahawks in overtime, making the Seahawks the world champion. So what I need you to do is count the number of teams that held the championship.
Okay. All right.
So we've got the Chiefs,
yep.
We've got the Lions, and we've got the Seahawks, and it's only week 2.
Okay.
In week 3, the Seahawks go in. I'm literally just scrolling down and beat the Panthers. Okay, so they hold the title. Week 4, the Seahawks. It's the week before Christmas, folks. We got nothing better to talk about. They beat the Giants. Okay, so the Seahawks maintain the title. Week 5, the Seahawks. Was that their off week? I don't see them. Might have been their off week. Hold on. Stand by. They were off. Okay, week 5, they were off. At least I think they were off. I'm scrolling through the scores. I'm just doing it one last time here. Make sure I'm not missing them because I've been drinking. Okay, no, they were off. Week 6, the Seahawks lose to the Bengals. Okay. So the Bengals are the new world champions.
That's 4.
Week 7, where are my Bengals at? Were they off? They were off. Okay, week 7 they were off. So we gotta go to week 8. So that's 2. So that's 2. I'm gonna count on my end the number of off weeks that factor into this too. So the Bengals are into week 8 as the champion, and then beat the 49ers.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't realize they beat the 49ers. Good for them.
Yeah.
Week 9, the Bengals enter as champions and beat the Bills. They maintain the championship. Good.
Yep.
Week 10, they lose to the Texans.
Yep.
So the Texans at week 10 are the reigning champions. Week 11, the Texans lose to the Jaguars. So that's 6, right?
Yep.
Week 12, the Jaguars beat the Texans to retain. Week 13, the Texans... Oh, no, the Jags, right? We're talking about the Jags?
Mm-hmm.
Get beat by the Bengals.
So the Bengals get it back.
So that counts again. Count them again.
Yeah, it does. That's 7. Yep.
So that was week 13. So week 14, the Bengals beat the Colts.
Yep.
And in week 15, the Bengals beat the Vikings. Which means as we sit here right now on December 20th, the reigning world champion in 15 weeks is the Cincinnati Bengals. And how many times has the title changed hands?
6.
In 15 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's counting, don't forget, that's 2 times they couldn't defend it. So that means there's only been half the time a team that has beaten the guy who beaten the guy has won more than one in a row.
Yes.
And I think the Seahawks won 2 or 3 in a row. So it's even fewer than that. It's just 7 occurrences across X number of teams. I'm struggling to figure out, and this is why I did this exercise. Is this parity or mediocrity? Are the teams just that close together? And think about it this way. The Bengals won, air quotes, won the championship here without Joe Burrow.
Yeah, he beat the 49ers, and then he was out after that.
And this week, the Bengals go to the Steelers as the, air quotes, reigning world champions, and they're only got one more win than the Steelers do.
They do. I mean, if they win, and depending on who else loses, they're still in the playoffs. But yeah,
absolutely
kind of crazy.
Blows my mind how this evolves. And these teams that we just named as being the guys who knocked off the guy who knocked off the guy are not the teams I would expect to hear. The Bengals, yeah, preseason we would have thought the Bengals. Did you think the Texans would have been on that list?
No.
Did you think the Jaguars would have made that list? I mean, we knew the Jaguars were getting better, but I wouldn't have put them automatically on that list.
Not automatically on that list. I mean, I assumed they were going to win the division like in August, but yeah.
And that division's bad.
Yeah, I know. That's why I thought you would win it.
And the fact that they took it from the Texans after C.J. Stroud suddenly decided to be a football player. I mean, it makes it sound like he just sat around all day and was like, yeah, all right. I better get up and stretch. It's not like that. But, like, I sit here. The Bills don't appear on that list. The Bills are 8-6. The Chargers are 5-9 and had to fire their coach mid-season just to show their fan base that they're not completely incompetent. The Colts are 8-6 with Gardner Minshew.
The Minshew, the source's favorite player.
Yeah, the stash That's all the source really talks about anymore in our thread. Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Yep. Oh, what happened?
I don't know. I got some sudden blast of sound on my end, but I don't know. It might have been one of the websites that I have open at all times. But yeah, the Seahawks, who had the longest reign of anybody, are 7-7. I mean, my God. So honestly, is it mediocrity or is it parity? What are your thoughts?
After seeing how the season has gone, I mean, maybe it's parity now. Maybe it started as mediocrity and then it became parity because now it seems like every team is the same.
I mean,
this has been a very weird year, and I know we say that a lot, but this year has been weird. Like if you look at the Chiefs, and no offense, but they don't look like the Chiefs that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
No, they don't look at the Chiefs that won the Super Bowl last year.
Exactly. So and you look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins lost Tyreek Hill, and they were kind of clueless. I mean, not against really the Jets, but like in general.
The Dolphins have 4 losses. They are to the Bills, the Eagles,
over 500,
the Chiefs,
over 500,
and the Titans,
over 5. Yeah, they're over 500.
They're 5-9.
Are they? Oh, okay.
The Titans are terrible. They're 5-9. And now I'm looking at the rest of their schedule. They've got 3 games left. They got to play the Cowboys. They got to play at Baltimore, and then they got to play the Bills again.
I see them going 1-2 in that.
Which one do you think they win?
I think they win. Is Tyreek Hill playing?
He set out of practice again today.
Oh, that's not good.
Because the Cowboys, they don't do so good. I make it sound like I don't speak the good English. The Cowboys don't do great against teams over 500.
They don't, and then the Dolphins really haven't been either. So who wins that game?
The Dolphins
tie? Is it end in 3-3 tie?
No, it won't. It'll be like 33-33 because all those teams can do is score touchdowns. But these are the Cowboy wins. The Giants, the Jets, the Patriots, the Chargers, the Rams, the Giants, the Panthers, the Commanders, the Seahawks, and then the Eagles. The Eagles win is the only quality win. Like if we were doing this for the NCAA tournament, it would be the only quality win on their resume. Their losses are to the Cardinals. Really? You lost to the Cardinals? You lost to the 49ers. You lost to the Eagles the first time, and then you just got embarrassed by the Bills.
Yep.
And your schedule isn't good either. You've got to play the Dolphins, the Lions, and the Commanders. So you only have one guaranteed win there.
Yep, pretty much.
The good news is you're 10-4. So 11 is probably going to get you to the playoffs. So when you bomb against the Dolphins, which may or may not happen, but and who knows, can they beat the Lions? I don't know who the Lions are.
It depends which version of the Lions show up. So maybe
the Lions are the same problem. I don't know who the Lions are. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Packers in Green Bay, but then lose to the Packers at home.
Usually that's reversed.
They win at home against the Bears and then lose in Chicago. And then their other losses are the Seahawks and the Ravens. I don't know who you are. And bizarre scheduling, they have to play the Vikings twice in their last 3 games. And I don't know who the Vikings are.
The Vikings, they're a lost cause.
Are they?
This year, I think they are.
They're 7-7. And they've lost 3 of their last 4. But before that, they had the 5-game win streak before Kirk died. I'm not convinced. They got to.
I guess it depends if Jefferson comes back because he got hurt again. So I don't know. And then they kind of vary how they use Addison.
Yeah.
So not entirely sure.
Yeah, but everybody's talking about Ty Chandler now. Ty Chandler. Oh. So the end result is on my end is I don't know who anybody is anymore.
No, no one is more. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are surprised. Like when Jake Browning went in, I was expecting Bengals to win like one more game this year.
Mm-hmm.
The dude knows what he's doing. I mean, I'm glad he does. It proves you need a very good backup in the NFL. He's been there for 3 years, so he should. But still, like, he's doing really well.
Jake Browning has an opportunity to be the 21st century Jeff Hostetler.
I was going to say Nick Foles, but yes.
No, I'm going to go even older than that. Let that settle in for a minute.
Jeff was the man 1 year.
1 year.
He was it, man.
1 year. And
wait, how long ago was that Nick Foles Super Bowl?
Oh God, I don't know. Echo, when's the last time the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl?
The Philadelphia Patriots 41-33.
I didn't hear him because you were talking. Now I got to look it up online like a heathen. Eagles Super Bowl
2018?
Super Bowl 52, the 2017 season. By the way, don't forget, the final of that game was 41-33. 74 points in that game, kids.
Yeah.
74 points, which is a great segue into America's favorite game. We don't know who anybody is anymore, but apparently Vegas does. So we're going to rely on Vegas. I go look at the over-unders. Oh, funny side story. I was streaming this week my video games. I was and a couple of people from the TwitchCon that I went to in Vegas were in the chat. And I was explaining how whenever somebody talks about lines and betting, they generically talk about it set by Vegas. So Vegas thinks this team will win. Vegas thinks this game will be high scoring, etc., etc. And I just happened to say, Vegas must know what it's doing. And one of the people in my chat went, when you say Vegas, do you mean the Culinary Union? And I almost fell out of my chair. If you don't know that story, go back like 6 episodes. There's a whole thing on it, how the Culinary Union runs Vegas. But so
yeah, no food, no gambling.
No food, no gamble. So this week, the Culinary Union likes one game for 50 plus, and has 4 games under 40.
Oh.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to use and you get 3 strikes for each, and strikes will carry over. So do you want to start with the one game that's over 50, or take a shot at one of the 4 games that's under 40?
It's terrible. It's all terrible.
In which case, shoot with the under 40s. You want to go with the
right.
if the under if you know the under, do it, because that way you get the extra strikes.
True.
If you feel like you know it, do it.
All right. Okay. Let's do the over.
Okay. What one game is a 50 or over?
50 or over. I'm gonna say Cowboys Dolphins.
You are absolutely correct.
Woo.
And you ready for what that line is? It's exactly 50.
Oh, of course.
And if Tyreek Hill gets healthy, I expect that line to go up to like 55.
Yeah, if he doesn't play, it might go lower.
It might go down to 48. How much?
And don't forget, the Cowboys don't have Diggs. He's so
Diggs,
the cornerback.
Oh, that's right. When you say Diggs, I think Stephon Diggs. I'm like, wait, he's a Bill. I got to keep drinking. How much does Tyreek move a line for you? Like right now, Tyreek is all right. So Tyreek's not playing at 50. Would you bet it?
What am I betting? The over?
Your choice. I would probably go under right now if Tyreek's not playing.
If he's not playing, I would go the under.
Now he is
playing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because if he's not playing, that leaves the Cowboys defense, which I think is much better than their offense.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them more room to do stuff,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure the Dolphins are going to be able to handle it, especially with Micah Parsons, who's a very good linebacker. Yeah, so
now I tell you,
if he's playing, then I take the over.
Now I tell you, he gets a full day of practice in tomorrow and looks fantastic. Would you take the over?
I would take the over because he's at least worth a touchdown in a spread by himself.
So would you say that the number then moves in your mind to 57? Not saying what Vegas does, or the Culinary Union in this case, but in your mind, does the line need to move to 57, or does it need to move partially?
I would go partially.
I think 55, because I think this 50 number is based on a chance that he plays already. If we found out that he was out tomorrow, I think the number drops like 47, 48.
I can see that.
In which case,
probably nothing lower than 45.
Yeah, no. If even without him there at 45, I'd bet the over. This team just put up 31 points last week against a nobody Jets team. That's the only thing they've got for them is defense.
Which was surprising, at least by that much.
I twice I picked up my phone to put money on the Jets mid-game. I'm like, it's 31-10, and I'm like, the Jets are plus 24.5. It's just, and I went, no, it's a fucking trap. Like Admiral Akbar kicked in my door. It's a trap. And I went, okay, get out of my house, fish man. And I didn't bet it, but I mean, there was a part of me that wanted to, and I was like, it's the fucking Jets. I can't do it. I can't trust the Jets. I just can't.
Well, not without a quarterback. Could have Carson Wentz on the cheap, but no.
So now here's the good news. You now have 6 strikes to tell me the 4 games that are under 40. Can you do it?
Let's go.
I'm going to take a sip of my beer while you think, by the way, so take your time.
Let's go Cardinals, Bears.
That is going to be a strike.
Really?
Cardinals, Bears a 43.
Oh, boo.
Justin Fields, baby, moves the line.
Does he?
He does.
He throws the ball to the back of his offensive lineman.
That's also true, but he also moves the line. Hey, the culinary union loves him. What can I tell you? All right. Got 5 chances. Get the other 4.
Commanders, Jets.
Easy. That's a 37.
Okay.
There is that. Before we started tonight, and I said to Craig off the air, I'm writing down the numbers right now. I said, if you don't get this one, I'll be embarrassed for you. That was it. And you ready for this? It's not even the lowest number I have.
Oh, really? Wow.
But it's the easiest one I think to call. So, yes, you're absolutely right. 5 strikes, 3 answers on the board. What do you got?
Let's go Patriots, Broncos.
34.5. Absolutely correct. I'm a little bit surprised that one is that low, but I'm not. I wouldn't touch it either way.
Patriots traveling in Denver at night.
The ghost of John Denver.
The ghost of John Denver in Denver, singing country roads.
So, really quick sidebar. I can't remember what I was watching. I was watching something that was a holiday special, and it was a streaming event, and they do old TV commercials as like a pre-roll, and they did an ad for a John Denver Christmas.
Oh, sad.
Where Dolly Parton and Valerie Bertinelli come to visit him. And in the promo, John Denver was wrestling a bear.
Oh, boy.
And like
magical time in TV. Then
in what universe does somebody say, all right, picture it, I got an idea, John Denver in the snow wrestling a bear, and somebody greenlit that?
They did. They gave that money.
All right,
okay,
there's 2 more answers on the board. You have 5 strikes. If you're gonna win this, all right now the money line on you is down to like minus 2,000. Because the culinary union is confident you're going to win this.
I'm glad they have confidence in me.
I can't wait for us to get a restraining order from the culinary union.
I'm going to get a letter in the mail, certified.
As long as they drop it off at the pastry, it's fine.
That's fair. Like a bear. Let's see. All right, let's go with a team who had a game last week where the tickets were only $1 a piece, and I'm not making that up.
Really?
Yeah, the Panthers-Falcon game, the tickets were going for $1.
Like on a secondary market?
I didn't actually check who was selling them, but yeah.
Holy crap!
Bad. There was no one there. It was bad. It was like a Rays game in baseball.
So you're gonna go Packers Panthers?
I was gonna go that. Yes. Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. It's a 36.5. That reminds me of ages ago, our contributor Sean went to a Miami Dolphins game, like way back, like 2 years after Marino retired, and nobody would go to the games, and they got seats in the upper deck the day of for like $15, and it came with a Dan Marino bobblehead, which he then went online and sold for like $70. So the Dolphins literally paid him to go to a game. So, all right, there is 1 under 40 left, and you have
This might be a little
5 chances.
harder.
The money line's at minus 20,000. $1
All right.
returns $1.02.
Oh, people like him. Maybe that might. Man, these are all. Man, all these teams have backup quarterbacks in.
This is
Damn it.
just oh my god. Listen, Detroit Lions, while Craig is thinking, this is it. This is as close of an opportunity as you are ever going to get. Figure it out, because this is it. You're in the bad conference. You're a good team in a bad conference. You have got to make it to the Super Bowl. You need the Eagles to get stranded in the snow so they don't show up for the game and you win 1-0 in the NFC Championship. This is your chance. By the way, little known rule. If a team fails to show up for a game and a forfeit is declared, the final score is listed as 1-0. It's the only place in football where you can score 1 point.
Huh. I did not know that.
It's never happened. It has literally never happened. It's in the rules in case they ever need to enforce it. But yes. All right, what do you got for me?
Let's try the other terrible team from that game last week. Let's go with the Colts Falcons.
No, Colts Falcons is strike 2. That line's 44.5.
All right.
All right, what do you got? Keep it moving. I don't think you're going to get this one. I would not have guessed this one. I'm looking at the lineup right now, and I'm like, no. Like, there's games here that make perfect sense to me, and I'm like, why aren't they under 40?
Yep.
I see 2 of them right off the top of my head you haven't guessed yet. So
let's go Seahawks Titans.
That's one of them, and that's absolutely incorrect. That's a 42.
Oh, damn it.
Like, I don't know in what universe anybody thinks that game gets to 42, and it's only a 2.5 point spread.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that means they're looking at like 21-18. That's not even right. 22-19. Like, I would not touch that game with a 10-foot pole. All right, 2 more shots.
Let's go. Damn it. Let's go Jags Bucks.
Jags Bucks is the other game I thought for sure someone would guess.
Damn it.
42.5. And that is a 1 point spread because Trevor's dead.
Terrible.
And the betting is so split on that. The money line right now, both of them are negative, which says to me the money is super even split in that game. All right, Craig, all of a sudden, your money line is now minus like 400 because everyone figures you're going to get it on this last one.
It can't be the Bills.
Wait, you have 6 strike. I'm sorry, you have 2 more strikes because you carried. You did not. You got the first one right away. So that's 6 strike, 3 and 3.
Yeah,
I can't do math. I've been drinking.
It happens.
It does.
Let's go with another division game. Let's go Bengals Steelers.
You're a winner. That's a 37.
Ta-da!
And Craig wins America's favorite game. Bengals Steelers 37. That feels low to me. And it's only a 2 point spread.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's on a Friday, which is kind of weird.
Saturday.
I don't know what day of the week it is.
My God, are you serious? We have games tomorrow, as in Thursday, 2 games on Saturday, and then the full slate on Sunday, and then 3 games on Monday?
Yep.
All right, I'll get through it. It'll be fine. So Craig wins America's favorite game. Congratulations, Craig. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, so we got to move on because we are rapidly running out of time and we have not hit DFS yet. So let's jump right into DFS. As I told you guys last week, why is my phone lighting up?
I don't know.
Do we have breaking news? Hold on. Oh, no, it's college basketball. I'm a UConn alum, so. All right, so as we said last week, the Metric has formally retired, living, I think he's in Boca Raton now. So we're just doing this on our own. A couple of guys I like this week. I hate to say this. I like the potential for Nick Mullins at 5,300. And I thought to myself, okay, if the Metric were here and I said, no, I don't want to use a backup, who should I use? The Metric would say use Joe Flacco at 5,500. And then I would say to the Metric, no, I want someone who's not a backup. It would say, don't worry, I got you. I got Trevor Siemian at 4,700.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, so I'm thinking Nick Mullins at 5,300 is usable. If I really want to go with somebody who's had more than a couple of starts this year, I'm looking at Baker Mayfield at 6K because I think that game could be higher scoring than people think. But I really don't know where to go. Honestly, you want to know where my heart wants me to put the money? Gardner Minshew. The stash. I'm buying into it. 5,900? So before you give me your picks, you have to choose one. Minshew at 5,900 or Mayfield at 6K. What are you going to do?
I would have to know. Like, I would lean towards Minshew.
Yeah.
But I'd have to know if his receivers are starting because the Steelers.
That's exactly how I feel. So listen, this week there's going to be a lot of backups that are appealing. Use your judgment. But there really is no one reliable under 6K that's going to provide you value. Unless I'm missing something. Tell me what I'm missing.
No, I think you're exactly right. There's not a lot of, especially if you're playing the main slate, so you're already losing like.
Yeah, I'm looking main slate only. Main slate only.
That's 6 games you're losing out on, like to select players from.
Yeah.
So
which is
I think
you'd
have to look at if you want to stay cheap, or like you would have to look at Minshew, like you mentioned, or possibly where did he go on this list here? Like, I mean, if Geno Smith is playing, maybe because he's $5,800. I don't know if he's going to be playing though. So Baker Mayfield, like you said, is 6,000. They're playing Jacksonville, and Jacksonville is a mess right now. But
is there?
I don't. Man, rest of it is just not good.
Is there any universe in which we can trust Bryce Young? I don't feel like we can. He's only 4,700, but I think I'd rather use Trevor Siemian. I can't believe those words just exited my mouth, but they're true.
I don't think you can. I mean, maybe depending on who else you can put in your lineup, like maybe Jordan Love against Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But Carolina's defense isn't terrible against the pass, so I think they still lead the league in takeaways.
Let's move on to running backs to try and find some value there. Oh my gosh. Excuse me, the road to ruin is speaking back. Let's move on to running backs. Maybe we find value elsewhere, and it makes us gives us some flexibility at quarterback. Running backs, names again. I didn't think I'd ever say. I love Ty Chandler this week. He's not going to reach value. He's 5,600, but I've got him for 14 to 16 points, which puts him into like the 2.75 to 2.9 range in terms of the metric.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ty Chandler. I like Donta Foreman because Arizona couldn't stop a faucet. So, I like him there. If I'm looking for somebody a little bit more reliable, Rachaad White, 7,400. That's a little too pricey for me. ATN is 6,600. I'm not sure I can trust ATN. This is why this year has been stupid. There is not a single guy in the main slate at quarterback or running back that I trust.
Yeah, no, it's hard, but like I'm staying away from Detroit running backs. I can't do it
anymore. And I can't argue with you. I would love to sit there and go, here's why you're wrong. I can't.
I mean, their average for game is over, I think, like 15 or 16 each, but still, I don't know what Detroit is going to do. Both of them can have 10 yards rushing for all I know.
Or one of them, you could sit there and say, okay, this is going to be a Gibbs game, and then Gibbs gets 5 carries for 10 yards.
Yep.
Meanwhile, David Montgomery's danced in the end zone twice.
Exactly. And he's only rushed for like 10 yards.
Yeah. David Montgomery, 4 carries, 10 yards, 2 touchdowns. And you're like, what the fuck just happened?
I mean, if you want to, I kind of looking between like 3 other people, like maybe.
Give me some names. Here we go.
Maybe Hall on the Jets. He's 6,100. They're playing Washington. Their defense is bleh.
Mm-hmm.
There's James Connors playing the Bears. He's 5,900. And God help me, Chuba Hubbard is $5,700.
I can't take a Panther. I just can't. I like Chuba Hubbard. I can't. All right. This is not working out. Let's move on to wideouts. Surely there's some help at wideouts. And I look at my list, and the top name of my list in terms of value is Garrett Wilson. And now I just want to drink more.
As you should.
Again, who I've been riding this guy hard, which sounds terrible. Sorry. I've been riding this guy hard the last 2 weeks, and it's paid off, is Drake London. Drake London all of a sudden has decided, okay, my worst line is 5 for 70. So I like Drake London this week. I like Jameson Williams is a little bit of a reach this week because he's only 3,700. I just need him to get to like 11 points, which is where I have him tagged. And then we reach the wide receiver equivalent of the Detroit backfield, which is the Seattle receiving core.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to be Metcalf? Is it going to be Lockett? Is it going to be Smith and Jeba? I don't know. Last week in our private pool on DFS, I looked and I said, who the hell is the cheapest of the three? Smith and Jeba? Great. I'm going to just chuck him into the captain role. And I filled in the rest of the lineup just with like common sense, and then went to bed and woke up $3 richer. we only bet $1 on his pool, guys. It's just something we do for fun in our podcasting group. I went to bed and woke up the next morning. Your deposit has been completed. Well, goddamn, it sure has, because I picked the right guy on that one particular day.
Yeah.
So I want to put money on DK Metcalf.
It's the same thing, just like running backs. Like, is Justin Jefferson going to play? I don't know.
I've got him at 17 points if he plays, but he's 8,100, so that's a lot.
Jordan and Addison is 6,000. So
do I have Addison in a better ratio though? I don't.
I mean, if Sean was here, he would say DJ Moore because he's a DJ Moore truther.
He is a DJ Moore truther. He really is. There is a subreddit on DJ Moore, and he runs it. So
probably.
I'm on Ross St. Brown at 8,200. Can we trust that?
I think we could. That's probably where I would stop. Like at the most. Like I don't know what Justin Jefferson's injury status is because he's been hurt multiple times. Tyreek Hill is broken, and CeeDee Lamb is $9,200, and that's just way too much.
And it's a short slate because of the way that the holiday breakdown is. All right. I don't know what quarterback I'm going to use. I don't know what running back I'm going to use. I'm only using 2 of these wide receivers, so tight end has to save me. So I look at tight ends, and the top of my list is Okonokwo, and I'm like, fuck my life. Screw that. I'm gonna take $3,300 and I'm gonna throw it at Kate Otten. Actually, Trey McBride has been consistently in my lineups during this stretch where I've been winning in DFS. It has been Drake London and Trey McBride, and I don't see Chicago shutting him down. So this might be the one position where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna spend $5,700. Shut up, all of you people who say that's too much. I'm gonna spend $5,700 on the one guy I know is gonna get the 3x. And just take Trey McBride.
I was looking at him too, because, I love Evan Ingram, but now that he's quarterbackless and he's $5,400, like I can't.
He wasn't producing with a quarterback. How can you trust him now? I get it. I feel the same way. Okay. Do you know how many shares of Evan Ingram I had coming into the season? I had it almost probably 30 to 40% of my leagues had Evan Ingram somewhere on the roster.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's always remember when we were big on Noah Fant?
Oh my God.
Denver.
And then they traded him. That was the year they traded him, by the way. Was it last season or the season before? You and I, Noah Fant. It's going to be great in Denver. And then they traded him like in week 4. And I was like, fuck my life.
Yep. And then he went to Seattle, who never uses tight ends.
It's just
for anything with blocking. I mean, maybe Jonnu Smith was $2,900, but yeah, just see what kind of money you have left.
I agree. I'm going to let you spend a minute on defenses because the beer's running right through me. Go for it. Find a way to talk about defenses for about 60 to 80 seconds.
I mean, defenses, again, there's a lot of bad games. And as you heard before, there's a lot of games under 40 points. So, you know what? It's that time of year. It's in December. We're towards the end of December already. God help us, or whoever you believe in. You should pick a defense who's playing preferably at home in not good weather. Like, I don't know what the weather is going to be like in Chicago, but Arizona is playing at Chicago. And if there is any type of rain, snow, whatever happening, I think I'm probably going to take the Bears defense. They're $2,700, which kind of puts them like right in the middle. I don't like the Dolphins defense. Miami's defense is just or Miami's defense, or not Miami. Dallas' defense is 3,000. I mean, you could take them, especially if
All right.
especially if Hill's not playing. So that might be an option, but I think this week I'm going to look at weather, especially if the defense is home and outside.
I am looking at opportunity. So the Dolphins are 2,700. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to avoid it. Vikings, the offense for Detroit's relatively in track. But at 2,600 is Tampa Bay. And Jacksonville, can Tampa Bay control Jacksonville? Probably. I do like what you said too, Chicago. I don't mind Chicago against Arizona, but at 2,800, honestly, I'm going to put money on the Bucs. 2,600, they got to get to like 8 points. They get the 8 point. They get one defensive touchdown, and again, it's against Jacksonville's backup quarterback. It's doable.
Yep, it's doable.
Oh, God, you know what? I'm going to say something. I'm always very honest with our audience. I think that's something we do differently than most podcasts. Would you not agree?
I agree.
How many times have you turned on Sirius XM radio and they're like, the Carolina Panthers defense is good for 15 points. And then the Monday after, they're like, I cashed like crazy by using the Chicago Bears defense. Motherfucker, 48 hours ago, you were telling me I had to go all in on the Panthers.
Oh yeah, no, they don't tell you who they're really using.
No, they don't. No, they
Jerks.
don't. So anyway, we're different in that way. I'm just telling you right now, I'm going to spend very little on DFS and sports betting this weekend. Very little. I will sponsor on DraftKings for our inside group. I will sponsor pools every single day for a couple of bucks just to get people yelling at each other. But I can't see myself laying real money down this week on these DFS lineups because the way that they're going to be split up with the different days is just going to be too limited. It's like we said way back when, I never play like single time slot pools. Like if it's only 1 o'clock games, I won't touch it. The variance is too high.
Mm-hmm. No, you're exactly right, especially this season.
And this week, you got 3 games. You got a game tomorrow night, which is what? Tomorrow night's the 21st? 21st. Then you got 3 games on Christmas Eve. Then you got the main slate, which is only 9 games on Christmas Day, so that you can have 3 more games on Boxing Day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus. Exactly. I'm sorry, no, 3 more games on Christmas. It is just so split. I can't do it. But you know what you can do? You can leave us a review. Whatever podcast directory you found us on, most likely Apple, please leave us a review. It's a tremendous help to the podcast. You can also reach out and talk to us. We are available on Facebook at the Football Fignuts Podcast, and we're also available via email at fignutsdfs@gmail.com. Again, fignutsdfs@gmail.com. We're no longer on the former site. The account's still active, but no one's checking it because Elon Musk is a little bit of a dipshit. Bigger dipshit, Elon Musk or Rashard Mendenhall? Go.
Wow. I think overall it's still Elon.
Fair enough. All right, Craig, final thoughts. What do you got for me this week?
Final thoughts is you should, think before you post stuff on social media, especially if you were in a Super Bowl and you fumbled, causing your team to lose said Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. My final thought is, whatever you celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hanukkah, I believe, is in the rearview mirror. I think it ended last week. Whatever you celebrate, take some time, enjoy family, act responsibly. I'll tell you, Saturday, really quick, my wife and I always make an annual trip to go into New York City to see the tree in Rockefeller Center.
Uh-huh.
I saw the most awkward, interaction between two human beings on the train in that I've ever seen. When I say this train was standing room only, I mean every seat was taken and there was still 20 or 30 people in every car just standing around the doors. Like up and down the aisles. At one point, an old lady walked over to a row of 3 seats that only had 2 people in them. The middle seat was empty.
Okay.
And said, "I'm disabled and need to sit down. Move." And the person on the aisle was like, just kind of stared at her. And she said, "Are you deaf? I said I'm disabled and need to sit down. Now move." And the person on the inside said, "You don't need to come at her like that. She may have medical issues too." And with that, a conductor walked through the door. And this old lady looks at the conductor and goes, "Oh, thank God you're here. They won't let my disabled body sit down." And there was a near riot on the train as everyone around stood up and was like, "That is not what she just did. She just came in here and basically said, 'I'm older than you. Get the fuck out of my way.'" And it was almost fisticuffs. I swear to God, this little old lady was about to throw down. And it clears up.
Where's Sean when you need him?
Yeah, I would have just thrown him in there like a chair. Here, just jump in there. And and my wife looked at me and went, "What the hell just happened here?" I'm like, a very rude old person got reacted to rudely and is upset about it. Guys, it's freaking holiday season. Be nice to each other. Everybody's stressed out. Everybody's on edge. You know where Cinch is right now? He's probably sitting in his truck crying because he's worked the last 14 hours and he's still got another 8 hours of stuff in his truck. That's a lie. Cinch is home drinking a scotch, but
I hope so.
The bottom line is be kind to each other. Enjoy the goddamn holidays, will you? For fuck's sake. Do you know how that altercation ended? It ended with the rude old lady screaming, "Drop dead," and storming out of the car.
Okay.
But I was just like, my wife was like, were they not being nice to her? I'm like, no one was nice in that instance. You know, just be nice to each other. Enjoy the holidays. Be kind to yourselves and others. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. No.
And I already did our outro, so we'll see you next week if we feel like it. I don't know. It's the week between Christmas and New Year's, and everything sucks, so Craig and I might just go drinking. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
What's next Wednesday? Next Wednesday is the 27th. I mean, don't be surprised if you see a message from us on our board that says, "Hey, by the way, here's us having a beer instead of recording tonight because we can't figure anything out because we're just 2 average white guys, you know."
Who didn't fumble in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, who didn't fumble in a Super Bowl. I can say that on my resume. I have never fumbled in a Super Bowl. I hope to God at my next job interview, whenever that might be in my life, that someone asks me that. I might put that on my resume. It says here you never fumbled in a Super Bowl. That's correct.
Correct.
I never played in the Super Bowl, so I had never had an opportunity to fumble in a Super Bowl. I like to think that if I had the opportunity to play, I would not have fumbled because I'd be smarter than Rashard Mendenhall.
God. All
right, folks, go enjoy the holiday. Craig, thank you as always. A happy holiday to you and yours.
Thank you, and same to you.
And we will see you guys next week. Probably, most likely. I'm not promising anything at this point in the season. Until we speak next, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast.
Bye, Dad.